Hi guys! So today what we are going to do is we are going to work on our creative scientific prints, okay? And when I say that, scientists before we had photography would have to draw their thing that they were studying, right? Their organism, their animal, whatever they were studying. So which is kind of really cool. So scientists either had to be really awesome artists too, or they had to find someone who could draw it for them, right? So that's what we're going to work on today. We're going to work on a scientific drawing of one of the animals that you've chosen from your science class that you're studying right now. So I am not going to choose one of the animals from your science class. I'm going to choose a raccoon because I love raccoons. Raccoons and hippos are my favorite, but I'm going to choose a raccoon because it's a Tennessee animal, and I just wanted to this time. So we're going to draw our animal, but we're also going to draw our environment. And with these scientific prints, text is included in these prints. And text is included because it helps us understand the animal or the plant a little bit better, right? So if we go back and look at our botanical print, there was numbers with each flower, right? And each number, if you went down to the bottom of the page, had an explanation of that number, right? So that's kind of what we're going to do here. So with that, we need to leave us room at the bottom for all of that explanation, all of that text, right? So the first thing I'm going to do is, and we all need to be using a pencil, okay? We all need to be using a pencil. You guys can't see that line. So we're going to try again. I'm going to use a marker, but I want you all to use pencils. That way, if you mess up, because this is a really, really hard thing to do, and if you mess up, then you can erase, okay? So, there we go. I'm going to make a line with a little area at the bottom for me to be able to write my text and my scientific mumbo jumbo, okay? My scientific mumbo jumbo. And even at the top, I'm going to do the same thing at the top. That way, I am going to look up what the scientific word for a raccoon is, okay? So I want you all to do the same for whichever animal or insect or whatever you chose. Look up the scientific word for it, and you're going to write that up here, okay? So, and when we write, these scientific prints usually used cursive, because they were fancy, they were important things that people kept. So when we're writing, we really need to try our best to have our very best handwriting, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write raccoon in my very, very best handwriting. And I'm going to double check and make sure I've spelled it right. So you all that are in my class, if you all will follow along with what I'm doing, but use your animal, okay? So on your paper right now, what you should have is 2 lines, and you should write the name of the animal that you've chosen at the top, okay? You're going to draw 2 lines, leave a little bit of space on both for you to write, and then you're going to write the name of your animal at the top. And then I'm going to write 2 parentheses. And this is where I'm going to go back and look up the name, the scientific name of raccoon, and write it here, okay? That's what I'm going to do. Now, we are going to start actually drawing. So you all are going to draw your animals that you've chosen, but I have chosen a raccoon, okay? And with this, we're going to draw our animals, but we're also going to draw the environment with it. Now that sounds a little bit tough, and we're going to try to draw it the best we can. We're not going to try to draw like a cartoon. We're going to try to make it a scientific print or image of our artwork, okay? Or of our animal, that is. So, if you all have a pencil, that is fantastic. I'm going to show you how we draw if we're going to make mistakes. So I'm going to use this little itty bitty piece of paper. So we're going to pretend this is a pencil. That way you can see it, okay? But when I'm drawing, if I'm trying to draw a raccoon, okay, if I'm trying to draw a raccoon, and I accidentally make his this line too long for his snout, I'm not going to erase that line immediately. I'm going to keep drawing and keep working until I get the line that I want, and then I'm going to go back and erase the line that was a mistake. Okay? Can you see that? So here I have this line here. So this is the line that was a mistake when I was trying to draw his snout, and this is the line I want to keep. So I have both these lines still on my paper. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my eraser and I'm going to erase it. That way I only have what's left over as my finished product, right? So if I went ahead and erased this line, the problem is if I erase it before I have the line that I want, I could keep making the same mistake over and over and over again and not even realize I'm making the same mistake. And then I get really frustrated and I kind of stop making art, right? So if we go ahead and make the line that we want, or we keep practicing until we get the line we want, then we can erase everything else, right? So that's just one thing that I wanted to tell you. And with a pencil, make sure we're drawing light until we get it right, okay? Now, I'm going to start drawing my raccoon. And with that, I'm going to draw him at a water source because raccoons, I love raccoons because they have those cute little hands. Like they actually have like thumbs, I'm pretty sure. And they can grab stuff and pick stuff up. So, and I loved it, like little images where I see raccoons grabbing fish. So I'm going to put mine at a water source. So, I'm going to start with his leg and his foundation. So, and at this point, you all can go ahead and start drawing your animals. Okay? You can pause the video and, because I'm going to pause the video and actually finish drawing my animal, and then I'll come back and explain how the text works. Okay? So you all go ahead and go back to Canvas and find the scientific image that I put in there for that you've picked, and you can go ahead and start drawing your animal. Okay? You draw your animal and then some sort of environment that they are going to be in. All right? Or ecosystem is another word for environment. So I'll see you guys in a few minutes. All right, guys, so here is what I have done and I've created. I had to turn the light off of my document camera because you couldn't see it. It's so hard to see in here. But what I've done is I've drawn my raccoon or my animal, and I actually changed my mind when I was drawing. I decided that my raccoon looked like he was laying on a log. So I put him laying on a log at the bottom of the forest, and then I have like the Tennessee fall forest in the background, right? But also what I've done is I have numbered all kinds of little things. Like here's a number 4, here's a number 5, 3, 2, 1, here's a 6, okay? And then what I've done is I've taken all those numbers and I've just wrote a sentence for each of those numbers. So here I started with number 1. I said his mask, that's what the coloring on his face, the raccoon's face is called. His mask helps keep him hidden at night, because raccoons are night animals. So number 2 says his ears help him know when danger is near, okay? So I've written things about my raccoon, but then I've also written things about the environment, right? So, like here, number 6, it says he lives in the forest, right? He lives in the Tennessee forest. So, you're going to draw your animal, right? And you're going to draw the environment that he lives in too, okay? So you can even draw what other kind of animals or things are there in your environment, right? But we're going to make sure that we label all the numbers, and we just put little numbers, that way it doesn't take away, right, from our artwork. You can barely even see them, right? And you're going to kind of put them in inconspicuous places. That way when people go to read the bottom, they go and they search for the numbers, right? And they should be able to know what you're talking about in your sentence to be able to find it in your artwork, okay? And then up here, I've written the scientific name for a raccoon, and that information is in Canvas for you for your animals, so that way you don't have to go look at that, okay? So I cannot wait to see the art that you all create, and it's going to be so much fun. But I will see you guys later.